Welcome to Conversations. I am Muqtadar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to give you some great news. Donald Trump has announced that the deal has been made. He has two tweets. I'm going to read them to you quickly. He said, This great deal will bring peace and security to the whole region. Many presidents have tried to make peace with Iran, and all have failed before me. The leaders of the region have, for the first time, found a president who can help them achieve real peace. So, with the opening of the strait upon the signing of the deal on Friday for purposes of mine removal, oil will flow on both ends again for the region and the world, President Donald J. Trump. So, basically, what has happened is he's announcing that there have been an agreement. The Iranians have agreed with the memorandum of understanding that the Pakistanis were saying we were just 24 hours away. So, today we do have an agreement. Happy birthday, Donald Trump. He's 80 years old, so he got his birthday present, but the signing is actually going to take place on Friday. So Netanyahu has 5 more days to kill more people and destroy this peace also, and I'm sure he's going to try. The real test will be whether Donald Trump can keep Netanyahu and Israel from ruining the peace and the ceasefire process by attacking Lebanon and killing civilians and destroying buildings, etc. We will see if Donald Trump can keep his end of the bargain. Everyone keeps saying whether Iran fulfill all its obligations under JCPOA. That is what the US intelligence agencies have been saying. But anyway, let's talk about some things positive after a long time. Sultan, say hello to everybody. This is Sultan. He's sitting here with me today. And so I'm going to show you another tweet. The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete. Congratulations to all. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz. So he makes it a point to say toll-free, while the Iranians are still saying that they will be collecting some service charges. I guess they will say we are collecting service fee, and he's going to say there is no toll happening. But I don't know what it is. I have not seen the text of the memorandum of understanding from the US side. There have been some leaks from the Iranian side, so I don't know how accurate that one is. But the good news is that both sides seem to acknowledge that there has been some agreement and that there will be on Friday the signing of the memorandum of understanding. He also says there will be immediate removal of the United States naval blockade. Whether we see the memorandum of understanding or not, the real test will be if tomorrow all the ships start heading in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, if the traffic quickly comes back to what it was. Yes, that will be the ultimate test and proof that we do have an understanding going forward. I just wanted to share with you stuff that is coming out of Shehbaz Sharif. This is his post. Let me just share what he had to say. He says, following intensive talks, we are pleased to announce that the peace deal between the United States of America and Islamic Republic of Iran has been reached. Both sides have declared the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including Lebanon. So I should have screenshot the whole thing. But anyway, that is an important part of it, that Lebanon is part of the deal ceasefire. And Shehbaz Sharif has highlighted reached, which means it's done. It's obviously not signed. Otherwise, he would have said the thing has been signed. We will see what happens on Friday. Perhaps Donald Trump himself wants to get involved in signing. There have been some interesting developments during the day. For example, this particular post by Donald Trump. He said, this morning attacks on Beirut should not have happened. He's talking about the Israeli attacks on Beirut, particularly on a special day when we are so close to a peace deal with Iran. Donald Trump, thick skull, it has penetrated that Israel is trying to sabotage this peace deal, and the way it is going to do is by attacking Lebanon and killing people in Beirut and Lebanon, and that is going to trigger the Iranians. Finally, I hope Trump has understood this. I always feel that a lot of his advisors probably misinform him all the time. Either that or he's not capable of processing information accurately. Israel has the right to defend itself against threats, but the attack it was responding to was very small and meaningless. Nobody was hurt, injured, or killed, and should not disrupt this important process. We are very close to a deal that will bring peace to the region, including to Lebanon, and all sides should stand down. There should be no more attacks by Israel anywhere in Lebanon, but there should also be no more attacks by any other party, including Hezbollah, against Israel. This could be the beginning of a long and beautiful peace. Let's not blow it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The Americans have to be very smart. There are people in the Iranian regime, in the Iranian setup, who probably want to see more violence, more war, because that will allow them to consolidate their factions control over the Iranian government. And the way they can do that is by using Israel, which is getting Hezbollah to shoot a rocket or two, and in response then Israel will come in and kill a dozen people, and then it puts pressure on the Iranians to do something about it. And so it's very easy to destroy peace in this region. And so it's very important that we can't expect Israel to act with restraint or sense or common sense or with the interests of peace at heart. So someone has to keep a very close eye on Hezbollah, and that is the responsibility of the Iranian government, and also the responsibility of the American government not to allow the pro-Israeli lobby in the United States to completely dominate the media and the interpretation of the events that are taking place in the region. But nevertheless, for now, we have some very interesting good news from the Iranian side. I went to the Iranian consulate in Hyderabad. They seem to be one of the most active elements of the Iranian government. And so they have been quoting Gharibati, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. So he said this is not a peace deal, this is a memorandum of understanding aimed at stopping US-Israeli war crimes against other nations, crimes that will never be erased from the collective memory of Iranians. It seems that the Iranians are reluctant to acknowledge the importance of it, and they're saying, oh, this is just a memorandum of understanding, which is true. But if you look at the way Donald Trump is talking about it, the enthusiasm, and he says the great deal, he's making a big deal out of this memorandum of understanding. But nevertheless, the Iranians are being too realistic. So they are. But if you notice, if you look at the last part, it says, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs for Legal and International Affairs, the end of the US naval blockade against Iran will begin tonight. And that will obviously be in response to the end of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz by the Iranians itself. And then he makes it very clear, the immediate and permanent end of the war and all military operations on various fronts, including Lebanon, will be announced starting tonight. So yes, we have confirmations now from both sides, from the Iranians as well as, but the Iranians also made it a point to issue this particular statement, which is very, very interesting. The statement is a condemnation of Israel for its attacks on Beirut suburbs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran strongly condemns the terrorist act of the Zionist regime carried out this afternoon, Sunday, 24, blah, blah, blah. This terrorist crime is not only a blatant violation. Yes, it is a violation of the ceasefire, but you can't expect Israel not to respond if Hezbollah is going to look, if Hezbollah even throws a pebble at Israel, Israel is going to come and kill people. That's what they do. That's what they love to do. They're not going to miss any opportunity to kill, kill, kill. And not only will they kill, but they will also destroy 3 or 4 buildings or some bridge or some useful thing. And they're going to do that. So if you don't want that to happen, then don't even throw a pebble. And this is something that and remember, the Americans are not going to hold Israel to account. Europeans are not going to do that. International law, international courts, UN, no one will hold Israel responsible for its war crimes. The idea of disproportionate use of power, that is the definition of Israel. Disproportionate use of power, etc. So this talk of ethics, principles, values in the context of Israel does not make sense at all. You have to be smart. You have to be safe. You don't want this. So check Hezbollah. I think the responsibility of the Iranian government in this deal is to ensure that Hezbollah behaves itself. Otherwise, we are going to continue to have this. If the Iranians think that they can continue to kind of blackmail Donald Trump, who it was purely stupid of Donald Trump to begin with to start this war. It was also stupid of him to cancel the JCPOA, because what he has done really is he has done some military damage to to Iranian infrastructure, no doubt about it, destroyed most of its navy and destroyed a lot of its capacity. That is true. But I think this deal is going to be worse than JCPOA from the American point of view, because it's going back to the JCPOA minus two things, which is one, that Iran is going to exercise some kind of control on the Strait of Hormuz. But in the long run, that's going to hurt the Iranians too, because it's going to encourage the Gulf countries to find alternative ways of getting around the Strait of Hormuz. So maybe for another 3 to 5 years, Iran will have some kind of a leverage, but by then alternative routes will be generated, reducing the dependency on the Strait of Hormuz, no doubt about it. There will be a next conflict, and in that conflict, the Strait of Hormuz is not going to play the critical role that it did this time, which is basically forcing Donald Trump to come to the table and make peace because of the impact that the closure of the Strait of Hormuz was having on essentially the global economy and American economy and inflation, etc. So anyway, so the good news is that there may be some ceasefire. We don't fully know the terms and conditions, but there's some broad understanding that this is what is going to happen. Iran is going to open the Strait of Hormuz. The United States will end the blockade of Iranian ports. The US is going to transfer $25 billion to Iran, and then they will start negotiating about the final status of Iran's nuclear program. But as a condition to having the memorandum of understanding, Iran has agreed that it will not pursue a nuclear weapon. Now, the details are the details that will be destroyed, whether Iran will surrender the enriched uranium, the 400 plus kilos that it has, about close to 1,000 pounds, or Iran wants to keep it in Iran and dilute it, so it will reduce it from 60% purity to less pure, or I guess they're going to add water to the milk, or whatever you can say. So those kind of details will be sorted out through negotiations. But Iran is getting 3-4 things. It's getting the blockade off. It is going to get a lot of cash. Plus, the US will allow it to sell oil. So basically, the sanctions are being lifted on Iran's ability to sell oil going forward. So these are some of the developments that we see. I know that right now the Israelis and the Israeli lobby here in the US probably are having an extended Zoom conference on how to subvert this peace process and how to go back to permanent war situation where Israel is constantly attacking somebody or the other. And that is going to be the test of Donald Trump, whether he is going to be able to keep a lid on this. Most of his staff is more pro-Israel than pro-US. So this administration is Israel first. If you just go and listen to the way Mike Huckabee, the ambassador of the US, talks. In fact, even he is conscious of it. So he says, even though I'm America's ambassador to Israel, I may sound as if I'm Israel's ambassador. So he often starts his speeches with comments like that. And then he talks about how God is supporting Israel, blah, blah, blah. And so all of that religious fanaticism is manifest in Mike Huckabee's positions. And all of these people, even Rubio on this issue, and except J.D. Vance, I think nearly everybody else in the Trump administration are Israel firsters rather than America first. So there's going to be a lot of internal pressure on Donald Trump to, when America is ready and I don't know what, to go back to this war. And given the way Iran has been conducting itself, I think Iran is also, I guess there are segments in Iran which also want to fight. And the losers in this big deal are essentially the Gulf countries, who thought that making alliances with the United States would bring them peace, and all that BS about Abraham Accords. If you join Abraham Accords, there will be peace and prosperity. Look at the countries in Abraham Accords. Sudan, there's a genocide going on in Sudan. Israel, it is committing a genocide in Gaza and starting one in West Bank, and also the Gaza model is being replicated in Lebanon, perhaps maybe even in Syria. So much for peace and so much for prosperity. Wherever there is Abrahamic Accord, there is violence. Ask UAE. what did Abraham Accords get it? It's now giving $10 billion, according to media reports, to the Iranians so that they should not attack Dubai and destroy it. So I think Dubai and Qatar and these countries will be paying billions and billions of dollars to Iran, regardless of what happens with the war, whether there is peace with the US, whether there is peace in Lebanon or not. But the Gulf countries are going to pay a very high financial price to Iran for peace. And if they try to reconstitute themselves and find alternative ways, by now they should have realized that making peace, all this deal with America didn't make them safe. All these Abraham Accords did not make them safe, in fact, make them targets. So they will find alternative ways, diversifying, making deals with Pakistan or China or Russia or India. We will see what happens. There's lots of things to open, but we will see this. Donald Trump, as I said, has announced that there is a deal done, but it's possible it is not. For those of you who joined lately, this is what he's saying. The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete. Congratulations to all, which means the Iranians have agreed to the terms and conditions of the Memorandum of Understanding, but the signing is going to take place on Friday. Today is Sunday. Why are they waiting 5 days? I think Donald Trump is, I don't know whether he wants to be in on the signing, and because he's going to be busy with the G7 summit in France in the next 3 days, maybe they did not want to have it. So I don't know at the moment why the signing is on Friday. They were planning a virtual signing. They could have done that virtually today. It is quite possible that J.D. Vance and others will go to Pakistan and sign this. Maybe the Pakistanis are saying, no, let's have a ceremony. It makes Pakistan look good. Anyway, Shehbaz Sharif did announce this in a big way. So there will be lots of accolades. Actually, in fact, the final push today, the mediation was done by the Qataris who went to Tehran and were there to ensure that the party said yes. There seems to be some kind of a detente between IRGC and the non-IRGC factions in Iran, and we will see how that is going. So anyway, I thought I'll share this good news with you. For those of you who are watching from India, I'll probably come back in a couple of hours and do this whole show in Hindi, and we will have more details about it. But to summarize, there has been an agreement on the Memorandum of Understanding. Hopefully, we'll get some details in a couple of hours, and there is going to be a formal ceremony or some kind of signing on Friday. So anyway, thank you for watching Conversations. Please like this video, press the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share this with your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtada Khan. Take care. Bye.